Okay, we're starting the Talk Hard podcast for Tuesday. I think I'm gonna do Talk Hard Tuesdays. Today is Saturday, is when I'm recording this. The last update I've had on my channel was 4 months ago, where I said I was gonna keep on updating. Well, I haven't, as you can tell. I always do this with everything. I'm pretty nervous. You can probably hear it in my voice. That will go away once this thing gets rolling and once I do it more. I have this new audio setup here, so my voice probably sounds a lot better, and I can reference things on my computer, on my iPhone, and all types of stuff like that. So I have notes and everything like that. I got a pop filter so you don't hear any or I don't know, maybe you did, but it's at least toning it down. All right, well, I got my coffee here. Be sipping on that, so don't mind me. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing these Talk Had with Tank podcasts a little more often, hopefully. I always say that when I'm doing journaling and when I'm doing video updates and blog updates and everything like that. I'm just like, yeah, all right, I haven't done it in a while, and yeah, but I'm gonna keep up with it now. So we'll see. Not promising anything, but that's my goal. First and foremost, I wanted to announce that my band, Energy, is back from the dead. We have a show coming up on October 19th at Sammy's Patio in Revere Beach. It's with Devil Inside Us, Potsy, Doigenstein, or is it, I mean, that's what it looks like it's spelled, Calamon, and Blasphemous Obituary. We're going to be doing, it's a Halloween spooktacular, so we're going to be doing a lot of Misfits songs. Well, pretty much an entire set of Misfits songs, and we're going to be doing Energy songs. It's going to be pretty cool being on stage playing Energy songs again for the first time in 7 years. I mean, that's going to be a trip. I've been wanting to do this and have Energy come back for this, this whole time. It's felt like a pipe dream, like I was holding on to my past, and I couldn't let things go. And at times I thought maybe I should announce that it's over. It was pretty obvious that there was a hiatus going on. And I didn't, because I always held out hope that I would get musicians and stuff like that. So it happened. It happened finally. I put out the word that I wanted to do a Misfits cover show this year, because that's just something I love doing every Halloween, and I haven't done it in many, many years. And my ex-guitarist, who is now my current guitarist again, John, he reached out to me and said, let's do this. I got some people. I was like, okay, let's do it. It was pretty much as simple as that. And so I posted that online. I said, anybody have a venue? And Sean from Devil Inside Us said, you have a full band? I was like, yep, yes I do. And the show was booked immediately, and it was pretty quick. It was a pretty quick process. Yeah, I mean, I honestly couldn't be more excited. I'm nervous as hell because I haven't been on stage in 7 years. And I mean, anytime you haven't done something in that long, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking. So let me shrink my window here if I can. Yes, I can, so that I can see and make sure that my computer screen isn't blocking the audio interface. Okay, enough of that. Yeah, so the show, that's going to be great. There's going to be a costume contest with, prizes and stuff like that. Lots of candy is what it says. There will be I mean, this is 18 plus, which is, not ideal, but I'm not complaining, honestly. The fact that I get to play a bunch of Energy songs and a lot of Misfit songs is the best thing I could have asked for this Halloween. So, thank you, Sean. Thank you, John. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Dave. Thank you to everybody who had anything to do with getting me back on a stage. This is a long time coming, and I just couldn't be happier. This is, there's nothing else I could really say other than this is like bordering on like a dream come true, because I've been just dreaming and hoping and praying that this would come true and happen for 7 years now, and we're here. Also, we're going to be covering some other songs too, so be on the lookout for that if you do show up, or if you're considering showing up. We're not just doing Energy songs, we're not just doing Misfit songs, but I'm not going to tell you what the other covers are. There might be some educated guesses, but I'm not going to confirm or deny any of them. But let me read my internet post regarding the show. It says, I'm so excited to announce that after 7 long years, my band Energy will finally be returning to the stage at Sammy's Patio Bar and Lounge in Revere, Mass. on October 19th, 2024, with Devil Inside Us and more. Energy originals and Misfits covers will be performed, and maybe a few others as well. There will also be a costume contest, so dress to impress. RSVP at the link in my bio. That's pretty much already, I pretty much said everything that was just said from my post that I just read from my internet post, but I just wanted to read it verbatim in case I left something out. Also, the RSVP is going to be in the description of this video, so click it. It's a Facebook thing. If you're not on Facebook, just, look at the flyer, show up. I'm going to link the flyer in there as well. So, yeah, couldn't be more excited about that. That is, I think we're rehearsing Tuesday, tentatively, and we're going to blast through a lot of songs. Let's see here. I love this. I love having the microphone set up, like my good mic, and I like seeing the little wave files bouncing up and down with my vocal dynamic. Get louder and quiet. You can, it's good. Because before I was recording audio just in my voice memos, like my notes, or whatever you call it. And the quality wasn't the best, but it got the point across. Okay. So, let's see. Let me look through my notes. Energy returns. So since Energy's returning, it's, I didn't do this consciously, but I'm trying not to post on my social media all that much because I actually have something new to promote now. Before, I would just be posting non-stop, like, oh, I like this music video, or look at this meme, or, just the random shit that people post on the internet, on Facebook, because they just want to share, talk, etc. I looked at my feed, and I was like, I don't think this is appropriate. I think having my feed look like it's all about my upcoming show is a lot better. I mean, that is essentially why I initially wanted to be on the internet in the first place. I used to say that I wouldn't even have like an online presence if it weren't for my band, but I lost my band like 7 years ago, and I've been online, and I've had somewhat of a presence ever since, so that wasn't true, or it turned out not to be true, or whatever. Oh God, my voice just cracked there, Jesus. I'm always sipping my water and drinking the coffee, mostly out of nerves, nervous habit here, because I haven't done this in a while. I noticed on my Talk Hard with Tank playlist, it said I've only done 8 episodes, And I know that's dating back like years and years. Let me see here. When's the first one? 5 years ago. So in 5 years, I've only done 8 Talk Hard episodes. That is, it's whatever. Here I am. It's all that matters. Let's see. What else has happened? I guess a lot of this now is just kind of free form talking, thinking. Yeah, me and my partner watched the full moon. It was a harvest moon with a partial lunar eclipse. And we did some like witchcraft rituals at the beach, some chanting, stuff like that, because I've been really getting into that kind of stuff lately, getting more in tune with my spirituality and everything. I know a lot of you probably aren't into that stuff, which is fine. And I didn't used to be into it either. But, people change and people evolve, and that's just something that I'm really starting to believe in lately, is like Wicca, basically, witchcraft. And that is not black magic or whatever. It's like white magic or whatever you want to call it. It's positive, and it's not evil. So, the harvest moon this year, I think, every year I think it's about like rebirth, starting over, that sort of thing. And I definitely needed some of that in my life. And, it was just I don't know if it was a coincidence or what, but right around that time, all this energy stuff started to happen. And it came in a 7-year cycle, and 7 is a very important number. It's very symbolic to me. So something just feels right. Something feels like it's aligning properly. Like everything's falling back into place. Like I fell off into some weird offshoot of a timeline or something like that for about 7 years. And I'm not saying that it was like the wrong path. I think that it was just what was meant to be. But I'm just glad that I'm here where I am right now. So that's enough about the spirituality stuff, because I know you guys aren't that interested. But if you are interested, leave a comment. Let me know. This podcast, Talk Hard with Tank, it's just going to be on YouTube for now, mostly because I don't know how to send it off to all the podcasts like Spotify and all that stuff. I mean, I could look into it, and I might, but for right now, it's easy to just record and upload it to YouTube. Let's see what else. Yeah, so in my last update, I talked about how I cut my hair. Well, since then, I've cut my hair even more. I cut it all off, pretty much. I left the devil lock, which is way past my chin, and the sides I buzzed them, but they're about, a couple inches long now, again. I've been realizing that I regret that. I regret shaving the sides in the first place. I regret cutting my hair all off even after that, like very recently. Looking back at some old photos and some old photos in my phone that aligned with certain events in my life and a few other people's lives, there were a lot of things going on, like really intense things that I realized had triggered some serious mania inside, in my brain. And I didn't realize it at the time because I didn't have a full grasp on my manic episodes or my bipolar or anything like that. So I didn't really know why I was having these urges to make these drastic changes. But there was one incident where I looked and I had my regular long brown hair, whatever color you want to call it. And I had a headband on, and I was like, wow, yeah, I like that. And then I looked 3 days later, and I dyed my hair for the first time ever. Like, I bleached the sides of the front and the back of my hair and dyed it green and purple like 3 days later. So I can tell that it was an impulsive decision. And the same thing basically happened when I shaved the sides. Excuse me if you hear like little kids in the background. I live in an apartment, so you're gonna hear that kind of stuff. So ignore it, and I'll try to ignore it myself. But when I shaved the sides of my head, I was like, yeah, change. I want to look different. I haven't looked different in so long. This is gonna and I did think it looked cool. Like, looking back at those photos, I think it looked cool. But there was some sort of manic episode that I was going through, and I cannot remember what triggered it. It could have been like something to do with my parents. It could have been something to do with switching medications, anything like that. But something about that episode made me just cut all my hair off, and it was it's a decision I made, and I'm doing what I can to work with what I've done to my hair. But it's definitely taught me a lesson, because it was such a not permanent, but like it's gonna take me a year or two to grow the hair back. It's a decision I regret. I do regret it. Or maybe I don't. There's a lot of negative energy that's probably in that hair, and to refresh everything that's been going on the past 7 years, maybe that's part of this whole rebirth situation. I don't know. But at least I have the Devil-Lock, and I'm continuing to dye the ends purple because, I'm not just going to let it fade and look stupid. Anyway, enough about my appearance. Mania. Mania's a bitch. I didn't really know what it was until I started to have to really deal with it. When I stopped smoking weed, basically, I realized that had been triggering mania so badly. I wonder if I would have even colored my hair or shaved the sides if I were sober, or whatever you want to call it. I've never had a drink of alcohol in my life, never had a cigarette, nothing else. It's just like solely marijuana that I used to use. And I drink my coffee. That's a stimulant. It is a drug. As I have a sip right now. So, I regret it. You're going to see me on social media or on the internet. I'm going to be growing it back out. And it's probably going to look a little awkward, but at least I have the Devil-Lock going, so it'll, because I think that short look you get in the front makes it look really awkward when you have short hair and you're growing it out. So I'm hoping that having the long, like, bangs, like, or whatever, the reverse mullet, like the Devil-Lock, I'm hoping that will sort of mask how short my hair is, or how awkward it looks growing out. But anyway, what else is on my list here? Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention the passing of Mike Fitzpatrick. He was a friend of my brother's. I'm not going to say that I knew him very well. I saw a few people posting about his passing, and it took me by surprise, because he was only 36, and he used to hang out at my brother's, well, my house, but he used to hang out in my brother's room when we were like little kids. And it was just shocking. It's shocking when anybody passes away. I'm looking at his obituary right now, and it's just, he's from Stoughton, where I'm from, and yeah, I don't know, it's just a real bummer. It really, it's really sad. I asked Eric, my brother, to share a few little stories. He didn't respond to one of them, so I'm not going to say it. But I can't imagine it's worse than... Well, I don't think it's worse than this one. And he sent it to me, and I told him I was going to put it in this. I said, do you have any stories, some like anecdotes, some funny things that you and Mike did together? And he said, and it reminded me, because I remember this. He said, yeah, when we found the cell phone, they found a cell phone on the ground in Stoughton when they were little kids. And he called, what was in the contacts, he called Dad, whoever's phone this was, they had, the name Dad saved. And they called the number and they said, we have your daughter and we want money. And we have your daughter and we want money. And, they were really, or Eric and they were really intense. They were really pushing the envelope with this stuff, and they thought that would be funny. And it actually turned out to be the father. The father ended up being the sheriff of Brockton, which did not end well for Eric. I can't remember what the repercussion was for that, but I'm pretty sure it was a big deal because he, the sheriff's daughter lost her cell phone, clearly. And Eric, the bad luck, wrong place at the wrong time thing. It's like, oh, look at this cell phone. Hey, look, it says Dad. Let's call and say we got hey, we've got your daughter and we want money. Like, he wasn't trying to actually do anything. He was just trying to, like, freak out the father in the phone. And, yeah. So, I don't know. I remember them being little kids hanging out at my house in Stoughton. And, Eric is 3.5 years younger than me. Same thing with Mike, roughly. And your younger brother and his friends are always, like, annoying you and bugging you. And I remember that being a thing. Like, they'd mess with me, and then I'd come out of my room, and they'd be, like, halfway up the street by then. And, it's just weird when somebody you knew to any extent passes away. Yeah, I just wanted to, send my condolences to the family. And, anybody that knew him, anybody that was friends with him. I don't know. I didn't really keep in touch with him. I'm not gonna, I wouldn't even say that he was my friend. He was just somebody that I knew. So, but back to some less sad and depressing stuff. Let's talk about maybe just what I've been listening to lately. Lately it has been, this is going to be kind of hard because I looked this up beforehand and it just wasn't accurate. Obviously I'm listening to a lot of King 810 because their Under the Black Rainbow EP is still relatively new. And they've been consistently putting out this video series. It's called like a musical tragedy, Under the Black Rainbow. It's been pretty interesting. It's very mysterious, and I don't quite understand a lot of it. I'm sure if I sat there and really focused and, analyzed everything, I could maybe get an idea, but I haven't really had, I've had time. I just haven't sat and done it. But within these episodes, there are music videos for all the songs. And all of the songs, like all 5, because Boogie with the Boogeyman just dropped today, the music video. And that was really cool. So, one of my favorite bands just dropped a music video today. I've been listening to Hopium for the Masses by Ministry still. A lot of Johnny. The Cure. I think I've been listening to a bit of The Cure lately. What else does my YouTube music say? Because honestly, yeah, I don't have Spotify or anything like that because, it's just another expense. But yeah, it says here I've been listening to playlists on repeat, and it's been, the energy songs that I got to rehearse for the show. So I have to listen to those again and try to sing and hit all those notes, which is going to be tough because I haven't had a chance to really practice singing over these past 7 years. I've sang here and there, and I did karaoke at a local bar, which, it was fun, but it did feel a little like, geez, is this what my life has become? I used to be in a band, I used to tour, and now I'm doing karaoke at the local bar. It didn't feel good, but at the same time, it did feel good because it was fun. I got up there with a microphone, I sang some Misfits songs, and I actually did pretty good. I sang them fine, and everybody there was into it. They were like, "Wow, you can really sing and stuff." And I gave them all like QR codes to promote my music. And the unfortunate part of that is that when I would tell people like, yeah, I have a band, because they'd ask, they'd be like, "Do you have a band?" And I'd say, "Yeah, I have a band." And they'd be like, "Well, when are you playing out soon?" And that's when I have to tell them, "Well, I don't really have a band. I have a musical project with recordings." And it becomes an awkward conversation because, a lot of people, they want to check you out on the internet and everything like that. They want to hear the recordings. They want to see the music videos. But, the thing that people ask is, when can I come see you? And I have just, I've had nothing to say about that until now. Now, if somebody says that, I'm going to be like, October 19th in Revere at Sammy's Patio. Energy Halloween Spooktacular. Dress up. That was also another way of plugging the show. But I didn't even mean to do that. So maybe this format won't be so hard anyway. Or after all. I know that a handful of at least my friends, or my online friends, because I don't see anybody in real life anymore. I know that a handful of them like when I do these podcasts, and I'm doing the audio. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier because I have the memory of a goldfish, but I'm doing these podcasts like in audio format for now because I don't feel like getting myself all done up. It's not that I feel like I need it exactly. It's just I feel uncomfortable. Like right now, I'm sitting here in a cut-off Sam Hain shirt. My facial hair is growing out a little bit. My hair doesn't look that great. I got army pants on. Like, this isn't exactly how I want to present myself, but all you're hearing is my voice, and you've seen images of me on the internet, so that's probably what you're imagining, because that's how I imagine people when I hear them talking and I can't see them. I just, make the association of what I've known and seen of them and imagine that they're sitting there all, the way I know. Anyway, this is just my way of freeform talking, babbling, talking to myself, hopefully talking to other people that might be listening. I think I'm going to upload these on Tuesdays because it just sounds good. Talk Hard Tuesday. Talk Hard Thursday doesn't quite have a ring to it because it's the TH. But Talk Hard Tuesday, it's ta-ta-ta. You know what I mean? I think that's alliteration. But yeah, it sounds good. So I'm recording this on Saturday, and it should be up on Tuesday. What else is going on in my life right now? I know I'm missing out on, or I'm forgetting some things because the little kids in the hallway are shrieking, and that always throws me off. And so do my neighbors upstairs, who are constantly blasting music and listening to their TV at a ridiculous volume. I've only heard people listen to their TV that loud. I've only heard someone listen to the TV that loud one other time in my life. And it was my downstairs neighbor when I lived in Stoughton, who was a 94-year-old woman, which makes sense because her hearing is probably completely shot, or was, because she died. That makes sense. The people upstairs, no, I think I'm older than her, and I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and spend too much time complaining about my neighbors, because nobody wants to fucking hear about that. What else we got going on? I keep saying that. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, lately, Ministry, Joy Division, The Cure, Misfits. I went to my songs on repeat on YouTube Music, and it just says Hurry Hurry Ahuro Mazda, which is the opening song on King's new EP, because it's my favorite. And then the rest of it's Miracle Tones, which is this 432 hertz sleeping, like, meditation tones that I use to relax and, calm down or sleep to, or, anything like that. So that's, I can't really get much insight into that. And I have a playlist that I use on the go in my car that I download. I download the playlist because don't want to use too much data. Don't have a lot of data on my plan, but I'm not going to get into my finances too much. Okay, actually, I can give a little bit of a rundown of what I've been listening to. My partner has shown me Chappell Roan, which I'm sure a lot of you know, or a lot of you. It's probably like 5 people listening to this, tops. The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. There's a lot of songs on there that are really good. My partner discovered her 2 years ago, and she's got like the screenshots to prove it. And it always blows my mind because she's just like on top of the good music, like looking for new stuff, and she'll follow an artist and be like, I feel like this artist has potential, and I won't really see it. I'll be like, okay, and she'll like subscribe to their YouTube channel or whatever, and then a year or two later, they've developed into a really good artist, and she was right. So she's got a good radar when it comes to that kind of stuff. The opening song on this playlist is Ghosts, The Future is a Foreign Land, which is a great song. It's the song at the end of the movie, Right Here, Right Now, which I was fortunate enough to see in theaters. Can't remember if I talked about that in my last podcast or not, but yeah, it was really good. I don't know if I did, because I'm trying to think if my hair was short or not. Anyway, Blood Nymph. There's a lot of Blood Nymph. I like her a lot. A lot of innuendo music. We got Ministry, like I said. More Ghost. Johnny, like I said. There's nothing too surprising in here. Yavid, which is David Gunn from King 810's hip-hop project. A little bit of Ash Nico. A lot of old stuff that I like, because I'm more of like I know what I like, and I know what I grew up on, and I tend to listen to a lot of the same stuff over and over. And that's like the opposite of what my partner does. So I think it's kind of cool, because I'm always looking into the history of music and where things came from, where everything's rooted in. And then I listen to records on repeat, and she tends not to do that. So I think the combination of her desire to find new artists every single day, or every single time we go listening to music or looking on YouTube for stuff, she just clicks on stuff that I would just never really think to click on. And I'm just like, how can you do that? I don't know. I just, for some reason, I'm stuck with familiarity. But yeah, I guess tomorrow, Sunday, is the first day of fall, which is cool. We already have our whole apartment like decked out in Halloween stuff. We went out and got like a lot of Halloween stuff that we obviously didn't have last year. Because this is our first Halloween. No, it's their second Halloween where I haven't been using marijuana, but I was still coming off of it last year, so we didn't get the whole experience. And it's really important to me that this year things are different. I want to have a really good time. I want to take advantage of this clear state of mind that I've been in. I want to have a good time. Before I couldn't. It's like that commercial where the girls like melted into the couch. The old one from back in the day. It's like that's kind of how I felt. I couldn't physically. My legs felt like they didn't want to stand up. Like I just didn't want to stand up. I didn't want to do anything that I had to put any sort of focus on or into. It was just like, oh, fuck this, never mind, like I don't care. It was, a lot of people, including my brother, were like, you should stop smoking. You gotta stop smoking weed. Like you're smoking yourself stupid. And I thought they were full of shit for a while, but I don't think they are. I think my memory's bad enough. I think I have a lot of pothead traits naturally that don't need to be magnified or whatever. I'm actually glad that I stopped, which is weird because for the first even 7 months of that, I was like, I want to smoke. Like, or anytime anything happened that was stressful, or I'd smell it from, because everyone around here smokes, I'd be like, oh God, I missed that. And now it's just like, well, for one, it would just send me into a crazy panic attack. But now it's just like, I am glad I'm focused. Again, can't remember what I talked about in my last video, but I even wrote a song. I wrote an acoustic song earlier this year. I recorded it, but still working on the mix. I've kind of wore myself out on the mix because I can't get it quite right, and I haven't worked on it in about a month. So it's sitting there on my hard drive. It'll see the light of day eventually. If I die, I want my girlfriend, my partner, Pixie, to, link up with Mike Grandini, who is mixing it. And I want them to come up with a mix that they're both happy with. And then, that's if I die. So, I know that that's a, morbid thing to say, but if I did die, they might not know what to do with it. And I want all of my music put out, like demos, everything. I want it to just be like, this is what he was working on, this is what he wanted to do, and this was his last complete song. But let's hope I finish it before then. Let's hope that you guys are hearing it before then. Okay, what else we got on the playlist here? We got Darkbuster. God, I love Darkbuster. I've been listening to them a lot lately, and the early Dropkick stuff with Mike McColgan. More Ministry, some Limp Bizkit, Prodigy, What else? Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, obviously, I always listen to Smashing Pumpkins. They were my first concert. November 6th, 1996, I believe. I was 11 years old. It was incredible. It was just mind-blowing, and I'll never forget that. That probably had a major influence on me wanting to be a musician, I remember hearing the songs like Bullet with Butterfly Wings and all that stuff on the radio, and my dad had the CD, and he wouldn't let me listen to it, and I'd sneak around and use it, and he's like, don't scratch the CD. And when I went and saw them, we were close enough where I could see Billy's veins like popping out of his neck when he was screaming. in Bullet with Butterfly Wings, and I just remember thinking like, wow, like these people really scream, like they're really into it. Like it was just like I don't know, it was a revelatory experience. Like I was, blew my mind. You know what I mean? You're 11 years old and you see these people that you've been listening to, and you see that they're like, I don't know. I'm sure that you can just imagine what I'm talking about, but it was fucking incredible. And then they played 1979 near the end, and some guy came up, or some person that worked there, and they're like, we're trying to get people to come on stage and sing the song. You want to come up? And at that age, I was like way too shy, scared, and everything. And I was like, no, I don't want to go up. Now I wish I went up, because I could say that I had that memory. I could be like, yeah, my first concert, I was up there singing 1979 with Billy, Darcy, and James, all that stuff. But unfortunately, I didn't do that, but I was there, and that concert did change my life. I know that a lot of people don't really like, or that, it's a love-hate relationship, but I've been listening to a lot of Tool lately. I always listen to Tool. They're sort of a spiritual kind of band for me to listen to. Fear Inoculum's been out for like 5 years, and I still listen to it all the time. We get 2 new songs from Marilyn Manson, As Sick as the Secrets Within and Raise the Red Flag. And there's also a 3rd song that I got a hold of called Front Toward Enemy, I believe that's the name. And it sounds a lot like Little Horn from Antichrist Superstar. Really good stuff. I think this is going to be his best album in years. I think it's going to be really good. I'm glad that he's sober. He looks the same as he did like 25 years ago. It's insane. I've been listening to Andrew WK a lot lately. Even, he's been he's been completely gone. You get glimpses of him occasionally when you follow Kat Dennings' Instagram, because they're married. And that's cool, but he's disappeared from the public eye, and that's fine. He's going to live his life and all that stuff, but his music really it's always kept me going. It's been a real positive thing in my life. And he used to do video chats, and I would be right in there. I'd make sure I was there for every single one of them. And in particular, the song Music is Worth Living For, from the, I think it's 2018 album, You're Not Alone. That song says it all. Music is worth living for. Music makes life worth living. It's a self-explanatory song, but man, does that hit home. Let's see, what else? Is that it? Yeah. All right, so that's it for my big playlist there. I don't know how long I've been doing this podcast right now, but I'm pretty happy with how it's been going. I feel like I can just talk, and if I say, yeah, so, a lot of the time it doesn't matter. Like, I don't feel like I have to cut it out as much as I do when it's a video thing, because this is freeform. This is one take, hopefully. I'm sure there'll be times where some kid will scream and I'll be like, oh, I got to cut that out. But, other than that, I got some shows that I'm going to be going to, but I'm not going to say which ones. I'll say it after the fact, just because I don't like telling everybody what I'm going to be doing until after it's done, because I'm paranoid. But yeah, I hope my voice sounded better than it has in the past podcasts, because I'm actually using a nice microphone, a pop filter, all that stuff, like I said before. I'm going to EQ it in GarageBand and all that stuff. So, with that being said, let me check my list one more time. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to give one more plug to my show coming up. Let me pull it up here. Don't tune out. Do not click out of this yet. You need to hear this. Okay, Saturday, October 19th, 2024. The Return of Energy, Halloween Spooktacular, paying tribute to the Misfits as well as other cover songs and a complete Energy set, which is unbelievable. Again, can't believe that this is happening. This is where I am right now. I got an Energy show coming up. I couldn't be happier. I'm nervous as hell. I've been having panic attacks over it. Just because anticipatory anxiety has always been a thing for me when it comes to this stuff. But, when it comes down to it, I'm so excited. I can't wait to be up there and performing again. And, I know this is 18 plus, but man, a few people have actually reached out to me and said, like, is this all ages? Like, oh man, I'm sorry. I wish I could go. And let me know when there's an all ages show. And then, honestly, a few people have reached out to me, and I'm surprised because, for one, that means people are interested in seeing us or seeing me, seeing us. And after 7 years, that's, that really means a lot to me. But also, that means that younger people are maybe getting into us or hearing from older people about us or something. Because if you're underage, that means that my band is older than you, which is an insane thing to say because we formed in 2006 and that was 18 years ago. So that's nuts. But yeah, October 19th in Revere at Sammy's Patio in 63 Revere Beach Boulevard. Costume contest, the whole 9 yards. So, until next time, talk hard.